Hello everyone, I am Vijay and today we are going to set up VS Code to compile and run C++ programs. So these are the steps which we are going to follow. So without wasting any time, let us move on to the first step, that is download and install the VS Code app. So let us do that. To do so, just type in VS Code onto your browser. You can write VS Code download. This is the official website of VS Code, code.visualstudio.com. So let us click on that. Now we are on the official website. Just download for Windows, and you can see here your download has been started. Let us wait until the download finishes. So downloading is finished. Let us install it. Just click open it or go to the folder and then downloads folder, and you can click open it there. This is the setup screen for VS Code. Let us accept the agreement, then click on next, then click on next, then click on next. These are some additional features which we want, like open with code and create a desktop icon. It is optional. Open with code. Now what does this feature do, open with code? Like whenever you are inside a directory, you can directly open VS Code by right clicking, and there you will see an option open with code. If you click on that, your VS Code will be opened in that directory. So it is a very useful feature which we will be using. And if you do not opt for this feature, then you can obviously click on the folder open folder icon, and from that you can open any folder. So let's click on next and install. Let us wait for a moment till the installation completes. Our setup is complete. I am not launching the VS Code now. Let us finish the setup and move on to the next steps. So first step is complete, that is download and install the VS Code application. Let us move on to the next step, which is download and install MinGW compiler. So this is the documentation of VS Code, like from the main website. If you visit the docs section, you can go onto the official documentation. If you navigate here, that is C++, there you will find GCC on Windows. Click on that. This page guides us to install MinGW compiler into our system. So let us do that. First of all, install VS Code, that we have already done. Then install the extensions. Extension installation step is like at the end. We will be installing a couple of extensions. So the installing the MinGW toolchain. To install the MinGW toolchain, get the latest version of MinGW via msys2. Let us visit this site msys2. msys2 is the platform through which we can download our compiler. So the installation is very easy. They have given the steps like stepwise 1, 2, 3. So we will follow all the steps. First step is to download their installer. Let us do that. You can see here my download has been started. Let us wait till it finishes. After downloading the installer, run the installer as it is mentioned here in the step 2. So my download is complete. Let me click open it. This is the msys2 setup screen. Let us click on next. It is asking me about the installation folder. So by default it is msys64. I will keep it like that only. Click on next, then click on next. So it has started installing. Many people face a problem, that is, in this step they get stuck at 50%. If you face the same issue, then I would recommend you to stop the process like from the task manager, or you can cancel it from here, and after doing so you can again restart the whole process like the msys2 setup process. So you can see here my msys2 setup is finished. I will not run this, I will simply finish it off. Let us follow these steps. So we have installed the msys2 setup. After that, They are asking us to open this terminal, that is UCRT64 environment, which is basically, if you search like in the installation folder, if you go UCRT, UCRT, so M62 UCRT, you will find it in your apps. Like if you go into the M62 folder, there also you can find, like if you go to all apps, and from there if you move to M62, here also you can find the M62 UCRT terminal. You can just open it. So it will look like this, something like this. Here we will copy this command, this pacman, this command. Let us copy this entire command and we'll paste it there. So let us paste it and click enter. So it is asking me, do you want to proceed with the installation? Yes. You can see here the download has been started. Let us wait till the download finishes. In this step also, if you face any issue, like if an error pop-up comes, then kindly close this screen and restart the whole process, like MG2 setup process. Just uninstall the M62 app and again reinstall from the exe file and do the whole process. Make sure you have a good internet connection. So all the processes are complete, like 15 out of 15 processes are complete. So this is the end of our step 2. So now step 2 is also done, download and install the MinGW compiler. Our third step is to add bin folder path to the environment variables. Now what is that? Just figure out the bin folder. To do so, just like open your this PC, then go to the C drive or wherever the Windows is. Then you will find the MSys64 folder. This was the installation folder which was asked in the MSys2 setup page. So open it. Then you will find here a UCRT64 folder. Just go here, UCRT64, and finally here you will find the folder named bin. Just open it. So this is the path. From this PC we went to C drive, then MSys64, then UCRT64, then bin. So copy this entire path. So how to copy? Just click on the empty area here. You will find the path and copy this path. After you have copied this path, just come here and search into your Windows, like environment variables. You can see here we have an option, edit the system environment variables. This is the option which we are looking for. Just open it. Here we will find environment variables button. Just click on it. This is an important step. In the user variables, for whatever your username is, just click on the path and click on edit. If you do not see edit button, just double click on it. It will open that way also. Just edit. Then after clicking on edit, you will see all the paths listed down here. Just click on new. Just paste the path which we have copied earlier, like C, then MC64, UCRT64, then bin. This bin folder path, just copy down here and click OK. Now you can also cross check, like if you double click on it, you can see the path is added here. Now, why we are adding this path to this environment variables? It will make our GCC global or the compiler global. It means that our compiler will be accessible everywhere inside the computer. So this step is done. Click on OK. Click on OK. So for verification, just open the command prompt, cmd, just search cmd, open the command prompt. This is my command prompt. To verify that GCC has been installed or the path has been successfully added to your environment variables, just type in a command, that is gcc hyphen hyphen version. This is a command just to check the version of GCC. So you can see here GCC 13.2.0, it is showing the version, or you can also see the G++ minus minus or hyphen hyphen version, it will show the same. So by this we can verify that our compile and installation was successful, as we can see the version here. So by this our third step is also done, which was add bin folder to the environment variables. Now our fourth step is download extensions, code runner and IntelliSense. Let us do that. I am creating a folder in my desktop to store all the C, C++ source code files. Let me name it source codes. Let me open it. This is an empty folder. Here we can open VS Code by clicking open with code. How to do that? Right click on it, show more option, then open with code. If you do so, your VS Code will be opened inside this directory. This is my VS Code open inside this source code folder. Here we can create new file using this new file button, or you can create new folder. Also, if you do not get this option like open with code, you can do one thing: open VS Code normally open VS Code. Then you can see at the file section. From here you can open the folder, or whatever folder you want, you can open it wherever you are storing all the source code files. If you click open, then it will show the dialog. Then you can select the folder. Like currently I am having my folder in the desktop. Then in the desktop I am having source code folder. Just select it and select folder, so it will open the same. To install extensions, this is the tab for installing the extensions. Just click on it. We will need a couple of extensions. Like first of all we will need C++ IntelliSense. Just type in C++, and this is the C++ IntelliSense extensions from Microsoft. Install it. And we will be installing one more extension, that is Code Runner. It will help us to run your C, C++ code by just clicking a button. That's all. Otherwise you can run via terminal also by typing the proper command. But after you get familiar with the command, you can simply use a button to run the code. Let us see how to do that. Also we have to do some settings. Like for code runner we have to do some settings. Just click on the settings icon, then extension settings. These settings are specifically for the code runner. So if we scroll down, we can find here a setting that says run in terminal, whether to run code in integrated terminal. You have to check this. Like if you do not have this checked, please check this. We need this. And also you can check this save file before run, whether to save the current file before running. Like you do not have to press Ctrl S every time. Whenever you run the button or click on that button, it will automatically save the file, then it will run. So it is also checked. This is the most important setting, that is run in the terminal. So whenever you click the button, then the code will run in the terminal. Yeah, that's all. This is the only setting which you have to check, and make everything default. Like clear previous output, we do not need this. uh, Also make this as unchecked, file directory as cwd. So that was everything about the extension setting. Like only we have to change this thing, run in terminal, make sure it is checked, and save file before run, this is checked. So by this the fourth step is done, that is download extensions, code runner and IntelliSense. IntelliSense will help us, like it will suggest us about the code, like C and C++ snippets it will suggest us, and code runner will help us to run the code with the help of a button. So that was the fourth step. Let us move on to the final step, that is sample code run. We'll run the code by two methods. Like first method is to use the code runner button. Like we will be using a simple button and we will run the code. And second method is to use the CMD or the command line or the terminal to run the code. Once you're familiar with the terminal way is actually the lengthy way of running the code. You can use the button to run the code. So let us move on to the VS Code, and let us close all these tabs, settings tab, and move on to the Explorer. This was the extension tab, this is the Explorer tab. So here if we create a file which is just this is my first file, just name is first.c or C++. Let me type a sample code, hash include stdio.h. So you can see the IntelliSense is suggesting me stdio.h, then int main, then return 0. This is the snippet. Here if I add printf hello world semicolon, this is my sample program. You can see here, this is my sample program. For the first time, if you click on this button, this will be by default, it will be in the debug mode. So do not use this debug mode. Just for the first time, just click on this small arrow and click the run code button. You can see here we got our output, that is hello world here. Why I'm telling that is to click on this arrow is to, for the first time when the user is installing or using the code runner extension, it will be in, by default it will be in debug mode. So if you run this in debug mode, you will not be getting any output like in a simple way. So for beginners I will suggest like this will be, this is in debug mode. You can see a small bug or small insect below the run button. So do not run your C or C++ file in debug mode for now. Just use simple run code button, like, or you can use F5 instead. Or you can see the button is now plain. It has no bug in it or insect in it. The debug mode is used to remove errors from your program. As a beginner, you do not need this debug mode. Just simply stick onto this run code button and it will do your job. This was the C file. Let us make a C++ file like my program.cpp. It is asking me to install some other extensions. For now I do not need this. Let us write the C++ code, hash include iostream, then int main, or rather we have to use using namespace std, int main, return 0. This is the template, and here to print any statement we can use cout hello world. This is the C++ code. Just click on the run button and you can see here our program is giving the hello world output. And also if you want, if you kill the terminal and if you run again, you will get the same output. So here is our output. Also input also you can give here, like if I do some sample input statements like int n equals to 0, c in n, and also I want to print the value of n. I can do like this, and once again if I run this program, so it is not showing anything because it is asking for some input. I have not given any output statements before any input, so it is not showing any output. Let us enter some random number like 10. So you can see here hello world 10 is being printed, which is the value of n. So this is the easier way of executing your program or running your program. But there is one more way, like using the command prompt or using this terminal to run your program. What is that? Let us start with C. To run your C file, one method is to click this run button and it will show you the output. Another method is to use the terminal or the command prompt. Let us use the terminal, and there we have to write some commands to run the code. So what all we have to write? To run your C code, just type in gcc, then your program name, that is first.c, Also, you can press tab to autocomplete your name. So first dot C, then press enter. It will generate the output file, that is a.exe. You can see here the output file is a.exe. Just type in dot slash then a.exe. Through this command I am just running this a.exe file. Just enter, and then you can see your output, hello world. Also, in the same way, if you want to run your C++ code, one way is to use this button, and another way is to use G++, then your program name, that is my program dot cpp. It will also generate the same file, that is a.exe, and if we just type in dot slash a.exe and press enter, it will print, oh, we have to give some input because of the cn statement. Let us give 15 this time, and you can see hello world 15 is being printed. So these are the two ways to run your programs. First is to use the button method, and second, you can see here for C code this is GCC, and for C++ code that is G++. So that's all for this video. I hope this video helped you in installing VS Code and setting it up for running C and C++ programs. If it did so, please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more updates, and until then, keep learning.